Let's look at another example. Our next example deals with a rectangle. The perimeter of a rectangle is 48 feet. The length is 6 feet less than twice the width. Find the length and width of the rectangle. Once again, the perimeter of a rectangle is 48 feet. The length is 6 feet less than twice the width. Find the length and width of the rectangle. A rectangle now, we'll draw a picture of it, and we remember that in the rectangle we have 4 sides. The length is the longer side. Let me put an L here for length and an L for this length. The width is the shorter side, W for this one, W for this one. So all we have to do is find a length and a width. When we find the length, that takes care of 2 out of the 4 sides. When we find the width, that takes care of the other 2 of the 4 sides. Now what do we know about them? Well, we know first of all the perimeter is 48 feet, but we're not ready for perimeter yet. Our second sentence is where we get the expressions to represent these. The length is 6 feet less than twice the width. Length is based on the width. So let's let width be represented by just plain W. The width is W. And then the length is 6 feet less than you remember, means we're subtracting in reverse order. The length is 6 feet less than twice the width. Twice means 2 times the width. So 6 less than 2W. This gives us 2W subtract 6 as our expression for the length. Now we're ready to involve this perimeter. The perimeter is 48 feet. Remember that the perimeter is all the way around, all 4 sides. And so we need to add all 4 sides. Now I can barely get this onto the screen. Let me see if I can back this up a bit. And wrong direction. There we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 sides. One of them is the length, 2W minus 6. Another one is the width, W. Another one is the length, 2W minus 6. And another one is the width, W. The other 4 sides are. Once again, there's no multiplication involved outside these parentheses, and so we'll simply combine the like terms. Subtract 6 is add negative 6. 2W plus 1W plus 2W plus 1W is 6W. Negative 6 plus negative 6 is negative 12. And so we have 6W plus negative 12 equals 48. Then to solve this, we'll add 12 to both sides, and we get 6W minus 12 plus 12, or 6W plus negative 12 plus 12 equals 48 plus 12. And now I can come in a bit closer if I can get the right direction here. There we go. The negative 12 and plus 12 cancel. That gives 6W is equal to 60. Dividing both sides by 6 gives us W equals 10. So the W equals 10. And back here where we had the expressions for length and width, let's fill in the 10. So for the length we get 2 times 10, subtract 6, which is 20 subtract 6, which is 14. So the length is 14. 14 what? Well, we had perimeter of 48 feet, length 6 feet less, feet are the unit, so the length is 14 feet. Width is W. W is represented by 10, so we get W is 10 feet. Now let me write these down to where we can read them. The length is equal to 14 feet, and the width is equal to 10 feet. Now, how do we go about checking this? Remember that in checking a problem, we always return to the original. Well, the original is not this equation we made up. Instead, the original is the words. So our answers, 14 feet and 10 feet, must check back in the words. We first have the perimeter of the rectangle is 48 feet. Well, on my drawing, let me write in the length and width values. This length, we've said, is 14 feet. I'm going to leave the feet off so we can read the numbers more easily. So this length is 14 feet. The width is 10 feet, and this width is 10 feet. So we're looking at 10 and 10 and 14 and 14. Well, 10 plus 14 is 24. And this 10 plus 14 is also 24. And we add this 24 and that 24, we'll get 48 feet. So that part checks. The length is 6 feet less than twice the width. Well, the width is 10. Twice 10 is 2 times 10, which is 20. And 6 less than 20 will be 14. And so these numbers check in the original problem. That means that they're correct answers. The length is 14 feet. The width is 10 feet. Now, in checking this, you notice that I was combining one length and one width to get 24, another width and length to get 24, and then just adding those together. Another way to do that would be to add the 14 and 14, the two lengths, and get 28. Add 10 and 10 to get 20, which gives us the two widths, and then 28 plus 20 would have been the 48 to check. This leads us to a shortcut, which is optional. The optional shortcut in working with rectangles is to use the fact that we have a length, another length, a width, and another width. And so we have length plus width to give us the perimeter. Let me use P, capital P, to stand for the perimeter. Then L plus L makes 2L. 1L plus 1L is 2L. W plus W is 2W, and that gives us the perimeter. So this is an optional shortcut, a formula for finding the perimeter of a rectangle. 2 times the length plus 2 times the width equals the perimeter. Unfortunately, it only works for rectangles. And our strategy for solving perimeter problems, adding up all the sides, works no matter what the shape.